Good morning. It's July 9th, 2024, and I hope you got to see the Tony commercial. Uh, we're going to get into some things today. We're going to go through Chuck Wilder's statement today. It's going to be pretty interesting on the Alan Osborne show because if I'm the sheriff, I'm going to investigate how did this man steal this money from people, get a judgment against him, and stay at the sheriff's department? How do you owe all this IRS tax money? Anyway, we're going to get into that. A big shout out. Go to the Road Rage page. A shout out to the Women's Federated Republican Club President Jerry Mickey, who got caught in a lie. You know, Jerry, besides having a bad hair day every day, you had a bad day when you got caught trying to steer support from a supposedly unbiased political pack uh, towards a sitting sheriff with two other candidates already registered. You knew what you were doing, Jerry. And why did you lie about it? It doesn't make any sense on the Alan Osborne show. We deserve better elected officials than that. Like I said, must have been a bad hair day every single day, Jerry. Anyway, we're going to get into the Chuck show, and we're going to go into this. So without further ado, let's get into Chuck Wilder and see what he has to say about his office. And I'll tell you what I think of it and what most normal people would think of it. So here we go. Introduce yourself, Chuck.
When I started to run for the District 3 Walton County Commissioner seat, I had a goal to bring a different view to our county government, a business view.
A different view, a business view. Let me tell you about Chuck's business view. Final judgment, 15th day of March 2005. I believe that's why he's working at the Sheriff's Department. A judgment against Vincent C. Wilder was entered in Walton County case number 04CA000395. And this is a certified, let's see if I can get it up there, true copy for all you people who say I don't have the documents. I do. Oh, Lucky Chucky's internet company, which he sold the subscriptions that he never paid the money back to teachers, ended up with a judgment of $103,614.95 as the day that Judge Green signed this in March of 2005. So that's the beginning of Lucky Chucky's business going back to at least 2005. And that's how Chucky runs a business. And we'll get on into some more of that. So go ahead, Chuck. Tell us about how you run things.
County government becomes stagnant towards progress, mired in what seems like an endless loop of ever-growing policies and spending that resembles that of our federal government.
Spending that resembles that of our federal government. Well, let's talk about you, Chuck. You've had tax liens in 97, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. Hey, you were a good boy in 2005. Or maybe that's when you got, 2005 is when you got the $107,000 judgment from Judge Green. Then in 2006, 2007, 2015, 16, 17, 18, oh, you must have been good in 19, 2020, and 21. In August 16th of 2010, you had a $6,500 one. In June 8th of 2022, you had a $32,000 tax lien. In October 24th of 2022, you had an $18,000 tax lien. In December 22nd of 2022, you had an $84,000 tax lien. Chuck, most of us don't live our lives like Democrats, and we're not like you. You're not like us. Go ahead.
That keep our county running.
Now, Chuck's going to continue through this video to try to convince the employees that he's a commissioner. You're going to be retrained, retained, and given big pay raises. This is a quid pro quo from somebody veiled in a political statement.
The taxpayers have entrusted our elected officials to make.
Now, look, yeah, the taxpayers are trusted to their elected officials. How can we trust you with our tax money, Chuck? You can never even pay your own on time. Look, Jackwagon, are you shitting me, pal? It must be the same judgment of the people that picked out them blue glasses for you there, Sally Jesse Blue Raphael. I swear, it's hard to even listen to this and then read this paperwork on his tax liens. It's ridiculous.
Manage those dollars in the most efficient way possible. Let me give you an example. Recently, I bought a 2022 Can-Am Defender, which retails for $20,000 for $4,500. It had been submerged in salt water and was considered total. I spent $3,800 for a new engine, paid approximately $1,000 to have it swapped, and now I have a $20,000 machine for half the price. The county took a
Yep, you got a $20,000 machine for about $10,000 and something. But the question is, Chuck, if you've got $10,000 cash sitting around to bid and buy ATVs and rebuild them, how come you can't pay your taxes on time? Is that how you manage money? You prioritize toys? Is that how you ride a CVO Harley Davidson? And that's all over your Facebook page, but you can't pay your taxes. Man, you are a classic Democrat, a rhino, a Republican in name only, and all your statements and actions scream liberal Democrat. Can't spend within my own means.
and then I had to replace it with another $20,000. I just did what I did and replaced the engine and saved the taxpayers $15,000 instead of the path it took.
Because they're all your buddies and you'll take the same path. You're not going to tell Mikey to put rebuild engines in his old cars. You're not going to do it. You're not going to say a word to the sheriff except yes and kiss his hind end and you're in with him. Trey Nick's not going to do that. And neither is Tony Anderson. And no employee is going to be held responsible in code for driving those vehicles through salt water. Nobody's going to be held responsible for anything. And the guy who can't pay his taxes consistently since 1997 ain't going to be the joker to do it.
Because when you don't have to earn the money spent or justify the money wasted,
and you don't have to pay your taxes on time, you just sign an agreement, then you can act like a good old boy like me.
new is always the easiest option. Look for me in the July 4th parade.
So new is not a good option, but in this case it is because you're old recycled garbage. You're recycled from the sheriff's department, you're recycled from a garbage place, and you still don't know how to pay your taxes. It looks like one of your sons is in the military. That's how he gets paid. Shouldn't you pay your taxes so the military can be paid, Chuck? Or are you on the American installment plan? Hell, I've never been on there once, Chuck. Why did you come after me, Chuck, for stuff I didn't do? I'm sitting here talking about you for the stuff that you did. You did. This is all stuff that you failed at. It's unbelievable. Keep talking, Chucky.
To price check a $1 billion company that provides a service to our citizens when other companies may have offered a cheaper price with a better service.
First of all, what the company's worth, $1 billion, is irrelevant to what the county spends. It's a total red herring thrown in there to catch your attention. Mostly he means I didn't get the garbage contract. What he really means is the legislative liaison, Scott Brandon, and I, who are lifelong bucksucks, they've got some land around the old landfill, and my company wants to buy it and make a transfer station involved in it. Now, I'm saying I'm not going to vote on it, but that's what we need, isn't it? Another conflicted commissioner from day one. Will that be like Tony, who doesn't vote on the golf course, but he's all involved in everything about it? And this is going to be the inside man for Brandon and others, but he's just not going to vote. But he'll just have access to all the information. What bullshit, Chuck. You're not fooling us. You're going to dig down into everything and become a busybody in government.
Because we allow those that are entrusted with our tax dollars to take the easy path without being held accountable.
Which mostly all your friends. Mikey, Tony, Trey, you, Danny Glidewell, Barker. None of those people were held accountable, were they? And you don't bring up anything about the sexual lawsuits or the racist text between Tony and Trey because they're your buds and they're not. That's not accountable, is it? You're just worried about garbage, which is how you need something. Didn't your house in foreclosure too, Chuck? You need to tell us about these foreclosures and your piss poor management of your money.
You must manage your billion.
Which you didn't do at all, according to these documents, in your internet business or your own business since 1997. Why would you tell us to do? This is a classic case of somebody saying, do as I say, not as I do, because I can't follow the rules. So, that's just what that is. Go ahead, Chucky. Here we go, trying to convince these young people that somehow him being in office is going to lead to you profiting in your career path. Again, he also wants to pay to train people because that's what we do in Walton County. We hire unqualified people that have DNA or some connection to somebody in the county, and then we train them when we could have got somebody who was probably already trained. You're right, Chuck. But we don't need to retain untrained people or hire them, especially if they're relatives like the sheriff's department does. We don't need to retain people. What do you have to say about county wages and the fire department all being shoved up under the sheriff and very little view of the budget? How about somebody convicted of sexual harassment that's still in charge of our fire departments? How about that, Chucky?
The cost to train and retrain the replacement for a lost employee is expensive. Along with the loss of the training investment, we often leave.
It's not expensive if you hire somebody who's already trained and pay them a fair salary, not based on DNA or who they know. It wouldn't be much at all. Most people come trained, Chuck. Or how about when they get trained for free that they have a payback requirement? They can't just quit and go somewhere else.
Lose the valuable knowledge that the lost staff member took with them. I'm not advocating creating more taxes to pay higher wages. I'm advocating becoming responsible.
Does this guy sound like a responsible spender? He bought stuff instead of paying his IRS bills. Does that sound responsible at all for normal people? Nope.
To attract and retain qualified staff that benefits our county rather than provide training and experience for them to obtain a higher paying job with a competing county or agency. In business, I prided myself on paying.
But I didn't pay my taxes because that's the kind of man I am. See this look on my face? Yep, I actually believe this bullshit I wrote down. I hope you don't.
Has proven to be a cost saving my company. By investing in my people and creating an environment that encourages my employees to work more efficiently and safer, by rewarding the cost saving ideas and track records by returning a portion of the savings back to the employees. This rewards both the company and the employee. A happy, appreciated, and properly paid employee will do more than expect to make less money or benefits. Instead of train and replace.
That's right. Nobody quits these jobs because most of them that are given the jobs by your buddies ain't qualified for them. You didn't say one specific thing. You said a bunch of generalities about what you do, but you didn't say how you do it or how you capture that data within your company. You just said, oh, that's what I do. But you also just said you were a smart businessman, but you can't pay your taxes. You're being foreclosed on, and you have judgments against you for your business actions. This shit don't match, Chuck.
Financial irresponsibility and failure. I have failed.
Your opposition's Brad Drake, who pays his taxes. Your opposition is Brad Drake, Chuck, you've never come to meetings until you tried to break the law and get Boots, your cousin, to put you on the planning board because that's what you consider qualified is DNA. And Brad's out there telling the people in public, up there under the gun, on the record, telling people some of the stuff the BCC is doing is just plain evil. He's the one up there not liking the sexual lawsuits, and there's no mention of you ever coming there. You're not doing anything out there but greasing your own pockets, which is why you want this job. You don't have the right to talk about Drake because he's just not dirty like you. He's not connected to the same people in the same way you are. And Drake doesn't own a company that needs to be involved in a bunch of garbage business within the county. He's not conflicted like that. It's you who is, Chuck. Your opposition is doing the right thing, and you're out here playing dirty pool with facts that aren't true. A true failure is to fail and repeat the failure. You failed to pay your taxes in 97, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. Go on and on. 2004, 6, 7, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 2010, 2022, 2022, and 2022. Man, you are the definition of a repeat failure of doing the same thing and expecting different results. You are, by definition, recycled garbage. Yeah, you are. But that's what I paid for, a new side-by-side, a CVO Harley, and all the nice things in life that I wanted instead of paying my bills.
Manage the cash flow to prevent borrowing. I'm current on all debts. I'm not in default of any agreements. I have made satisfactory agreements with the IRS to.
So I'm making payments on all my past debts to the government. Meanwhile, I got enough cash for toys and side-by-sides and other crap, but I haven't paid. I'm still in the foreclosures. Can you make this up? Chuck, is the foreclosure over? Can you answer for us?
Handle past tax issues, all of which are in good standing and faithfully paid as per my agreements. I,
As per my agreements. He said, I didn't cheat on my taxes. No, you didn't pay them. No, you just didn't pay them.
More than I can pay, and I chose to support my children first and the IRS second. I should consider.
Do your children ride the CVO Harley with you, Chuck? Or do they ride the side-by-side? Did you chop up pieces of those toys and feed them to support your children? Nobody's believing this shit. Nobody's believing it whatsoever, Chuck. God. That I felt like I didn't have to pay my bills.
The important thing is that I persevered, overcame the obstacles, and succeeded. I not only built.
You didn't overcome them. They're still right in front of you because you're making payments. It's not behind you. It's your future if you're still making payments.
And that is something I can hold my head high for accomplishing. However, I was just merely a manager until 15 months ago. And after 14 years of building our company, I was able to purchase it.
And now I'm going to be so conflicted in what I do, I'm going to have my head all in that business contract just like Tony does the golf course, but I'm not going to vote on it. But I'm going to watch everything behind the scenes, and I'm going to help my friends sell that land to another company that I'm going to use. And I'm as thick as thieves in that dang thing. That's what I'm going to do now that I'm an owner, and that's why I ran, because Boots wouldn't play ball. My cousin wouldn't play ball. How about that? Your cousin's not even supporting you're about as effective as your road game. You know what I'm saying, Chuck?
And I'm willing to.
Listen, the opposition, and I'm opposed to you. I'm just simply reading off your tax liens and reading off these judgments. Stop at nothing? What do you mean? Understanding the English language is stopping at nothing after the lie? Especially you told a bunch of lies about me, Chuck, and I didn't do the stuff you said. But you did all this. You did every bit of it, Lucky Chucky, and I'm happy to debate your bald head in public. That's why you and that shitbag Trey couldn't say anything when I spoke at the Women's Federated, because you didn't know how to deal with somebody up there telling the truth right to your damn face. Piss on you. Go ahead, Chuck. Expose yourself some more.
And enact change that benefits our county as a whole, and not just the entitled elitist.
This is an entitled elitist. He's connected to Brannon and Glidewell and the sheriff and everybody else. How many of you would be charged if you'd done this kind of money? How many of you could rip off your fellow teachers and people who bought internet service for you that you never paid them back? Chuck, I'll take it back if you proved you paid all this back, but people have contacted me that you didn't pay. So why would we trust you with our money? You spend most of your time in Panama City, right? Isn't that where most of your business is, not here? Is that what you said? But you want it to be here. Yeah, we see what you're up to, Chuck. No, Chuck, we are smart enough to know we don't need you. You're the one not smart enough to figure out how to do something different, pay your taxes on time, and not quit running yourself in the hole with money you hadn't got. You've been doing that consistently since 1997, so you're the one not smart enough. There's no we in this shit. Can be polished to a turd and presented to you like I'm a real elected official. I'm proof that recycled garbage can come back to haunt you.
And I will do what it takes to change the mindset of how we operate. Help me achieve.
Help me take your tax money and waste it and make payments like I've been. I'll help you with another 1% tax. I'll help you spend money that we'll have to add another tax, just like Glidewell and Tony and the rest of them wanted, because I'm a 1% tax guy and that's what I supported, because I'm not a fiscal conservative, as I've shown you, because fiscal conservative people pay their taxes.
Thank you for listening to this message. God bless you, and God bless Walton County.
God bless Walton County, and vote for Brad Drake, Barbara Morano, Dan Curry, Aaron Murray for sheriff in the primary, Gary Greger. Do, put out Phony Tony and up Chucky here. You know, it just makes me sick. I want up Chuck after listening to you believe this BS how you could be better for this county. You're just the same old recycled trash, and you can unelect these people. Don't elect these. Don't put. We're smarter than that because a lot of us have moved here and not quite as inbred as Chuck. You know, his DNA of his family stick is the problem, and that's why he doesn't see clearly. In any of this, I am glad to tell you to your face, Chuck, in any debate you'd like to have about what your connections are and why you want to do this and what you're about and what you don't know. Plus, you never come to crap, Chuck. You're just not in the BCC record, except for refusing to leave from the planning board when the attorney told you that you and Boots were breaking ethics laws by trying to put you on the planning board. This is the life of Up Chucky. The rules are special. He's an elitist. His rules are dictated by the elected and connected and their DNA, and he's not like the rest of us out here trying to make it on our own merit. That's the way it is on the Alan Osborne, and you can't make this stuff up. So it's time for a change out there. Say no to Chucky and say yes to Drake. You've got a choice. It was Brad who stood up and called them out, and this guy was nowhere to be seen at the podium. But yeah, this is about money, and Chucky wants it. Let's not give him ours to play with. It's as bad as Tony Anderson's new commercial that you can see on my TV show on the Alan Osborne Show. You can't make this shit up, folks, but you can elect it. Y'all keep them straight, because as long as they're allowed to keep each other straight, they'll be as straight as a snake. And that's the serpent that we'll deal with. Till next time on the Alan Osborne. See you next time.